shit is about to get bad. And I mean really bad. And you wanna know why you're screwed? Do you really? Because you're not gardening, guys. And I know, you have an excuse, right? Yeah, well, if you're the type of person that doesn't like to be told you're wrong, this video might not be for you. Because that's what it is. It's an excuse. And I'm going to squash every single one of those excuses in this video today. Do you know that you can drink when you garden? And you can garden naked. Well, depending on where you live, but you can garden naked and you can drink. So what are you really losing? Nothing, except for your alone time. Who doesn't like alone time? You're grounding to the earth, getting fresh air. It's amazing. But I get it. It's hard. You don't have the space for it, right? Well, you actually do. And I'm gonna tell you how today. So why garden? Well, we can talk about a couple of reasons why. First things first, as we all know, food shortages already projected to hit us hard. And if you think this is going to be just a temporary struggle that only some places are going to, witness, and it's not going to bother you and it's not going to hit you, you're wrong. We are legit losing resources, enough resources to feed everyone on this fucking planet. And it's just going to continue to get worse. And you want to know how we solve it? I know you know. Gardening. See, if we all just gardened a little bit, we could feed ourselves. Maybe not completely, but we could still substitute with some of our own shit. This outsourcing crap needs to stop. We need to stop going to the store for absolutely fucking everything that we need, okay? Don't you agree? Inflation is a big issue. We are on the brink of an economic crash, World War III. There is so much shit coming our way, and gardening is just such an easy thing to do to not only make you feel better, it's very zen, but to feed yourself. And you can. You just gotta be smart about it. You're smart, right? I know you are. Okay, so listen to everything that I have to say so you can squash all those damn excuses and get fucking started. If you have supplies and you think you're prepared because you have supplies, you're wrong. I'm sorry. Your supplies can be taken, your supplies can be diminished, and if you think you're just gonna throw some seeds in the ground and be successful, you're not. You'll probably yield something, but you're not gonna yield that much. Gardening is a learning curve, so get it the fuck over with. Enjoy it, have fun with it, fail, and then succeed. But don't do it when you're in the brink of fucking shit hitting the fan and you can't afford to have your seeds not germinate or not yield you much crops, okay? Get past this shit now, polish your skill sets, and drink while you do it. Okay, so let's talk about the first very common excuse, and that is that you don't have the space. Or actually, what I hear more of is typically, oh, it must be nice to have the space to garden. Some people aren't that fortunate. It's kind of bullshit. I'm sorry. It kind of is. Don't dog on me because I thought ahead and decided that it was worth my while to have a garden or have property, okay? And even more so, before I had property, I was bartering with an Amish farmer for unpasteurized milk, fresh meat, eggs, and vegetables. And what did I do? I worked on his garden on my days that I had off with my son strapped to my back. So I don't want to hear it. You can find a way to garden even with a small amount of space. Barter. Find a community garden, okay? Go to a seed swap and find somebody who is willing to trade with you food that you have bulk of, right, for the food that they have bulk of. Some people might be limited to a small yard, which actually isn't really that bad. You just, need to get some raised beds and call it good. But even more so, I guess I'm more or less talking to the people who live in an apartment complex, okay? Because, you've got a back patio and that's about it. But you can still garden. You just have to know the equipment that you need to do it. So let's talk about that. So the first thing you need to look into is vertical gardening pots. There's tons of different types of pots that you can purchase. You can even make your own if you want to. Pinterest is amazing, Google is amazing. Look up some DIY projects on people who have built vertical gardening systems. There's actually a lot of perks of vertical gardening too, and I have actually introduced that into my garden because it's good for if you're low on water, because of it being vertical. You know, it's watering downward, obviously. So, you know, everyone's getting a little bit. It's really good for sun and them having the appropriate amount of exposure, regardless of how big or small that they get. It's easy to maintain, less weeding. Like, vertical gardening is amazing. Buy, if you want, a bunch of giant pots, tubs, you know, to garden in. You can reuse plastic containers. I know. I think in the future I'm always going to somehow include my plastic containers in my videos because they're so versatile, right? But you gotta get creative, find some things that you can plant stuff in. The other side of that is too, you could also get into hydroponic systems. Honestly, hydroponic systems is like something I even want to get into and I have not experimented with. I plan to, because really, like, if a natural disaster was to happen, like, I would be fucked. We would all be fucked. But if you had a hydroponic system in your fucking bathroom, you'd be good to go. Right? And you can also make hydroponic systems out of basically nothing. Again, DIY, guys, look it up. People are doing this shit with nothing, garbage. You can do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. The other thing I want to talk about is succession gardening. Right? Is it succession? I know how to do it, not how to say it. Many veggies fade after producing their initial crop. So rather than planting everything at once, start off with a few seeds and then plant more in about 2 to 4 weeks. A new plant will be continually coming in. As soon as the first plants start to fade, replant that area after harvest or use it for a different crop. Okay, my phone was getting way too hot. Sorry. Back to what we were saying. The other thing too is interplanting, intercropping. We're taking a plant that has a very short growth period and a plant with a very long growth period, planting them very close together and not having them basically affect each other because let's use radishes and carrots as an example. Radishes, they grow very quickly, carrots take a longer time. So by the time the radishes are ready for you to pick, the carrots aren't necessarily being offended by the radish's presence. Make sense? So that's a good way for you to bring plants together in a tight area. Also, prioritizing staple crops is wise if space is limited. These crops should be easy to harvest and store, return good yields, and most importantly, be calorie dense. This includes things like potatoes, dry beans, tomatoes. Think versatility. Next excuse. I don't have time to garden. I have way too much to do. I don't have a green thumb. I don't have a green thumb. Do you really? Like I said before, I didn't have a green thumb when I started. That's not even a thing. If you have a green thumb, then you probably have like a disease. You should get that checked out. It's not a thing. You're not gifted with it. If you don't have time to garden, there's this really amazing thing. I don't know if you know about it. It's called a water timer. They're fucking brilliant, and I have used one ever since I started gardening. I have ADHD, and if I watered my garden on my own, Monday would be at 8 a.m., Tuesday would be at 10:30, Wednesday would be at like 2. I mean, no, I can't water my own garden. Are you kidding me? And plus, like, come on. If there's something that like is able to make me do less work, fuck yeah, I'm gonna buy it, and fuck yeah, I'm gonna use it forever and ever and ever. Get one of those. All right, I'm taking you guys on the go with me if you can't tell, and to feed my ducks. So I thought I would introduce all my duckies to you. Anyway, so the next excuse I'm going to talk about is people who say that it isn't worth them gardening because they cannot produce enough yield to make it worth it, okay? And more specifically, what I mean by that is there's a very popular video going around that I saw. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like this guy putting all this money and effort into building this garden, and then like he's talking about the whole process, all this stuff that he did, and then at the end he's like, all for this, 50-cent cucumber or something. That is the stupidest thing I've heard. Like, I'm sure it was a joke, dude, but shame on you. You're just feeding into people's excuse now. Like, now everyone's like, oh yeah, fucking stupid gardeners. Wow, wasting all that time and money just for a dumb cucumber that I can go buy at the store. Okay, it's not about that, okay? Like, it isn't just about the small amount of food that isn't worth a lot of money, okay? That's not the only prize. That's not the only light at the end of the tunnel. Again, it is about your skill sets that you are polishing now, okay? If you're not going to be producing that much food, who gives a fuck? You're still learning how to garden, okay? If something happens and you have to flee out of the city, which if you're in the city, chances are you probably will, okay? You're going to probably go seek a community. You're going to probably try to find a group of people that will take you in. If you come to that group of people and you're like, hey, I've been gardening in the city, I'm really good at it, I can garden in a small amount of space, that's what I'm used to, you're now worthy, okay? You're now an asset to them to have from within their community because you have a skill set, okay? You don't need a fucking prize. Your prize is you. And you're only going to be in that position and be worthy if you know how to garden. Next stupid excuse. I don't have money for that. That's way too expensive. No, it isn't. Okay? If you want the pretty Pinterest garden that Debbie has online, then maybe. But do you need that? No. Have you guys seen my garden? My garden isn't even done because I can't afford to finish it. Like, I got what I needed to start planting, and like all the gravel and the fence and everything, like that shit's gonna come later when I can afford it. Okay? Sometimes things are gonna cost you money. Sometimes you have to make an investment in stuff. But in the meantime, while you're waiting to get there, you just, again, have to get creative. This is all about being creative. Those containers I talked about, boom. Cut those guys in half, put some holes in the bottom. You've got all your little pots that you need for your seedlings, okay? If you can't afford garden boxes, then go on Craigslist ads, okay? Go on Craigslist ads in the free section. They're giving away random shit all the time. Pallets, have you seen the shit people can do with pallets? You could use pallets to make your garden beds. There are a lot of random, again, like garbage basically that you could be using and taking, okay, to make your garden work. It doesn't have to look pretty. It just needs to be functional. Dirt, for instance. Yeah, it might be good if you can go buy organic dirt somewhere. If you can't afford that though, like, go find some dirt somewhere. Plant into the ground, you know, at your home, wherever you live. Or like, I don't know if this is illegal, but go out to some BLM land and just like scoop a little dirt up. It's dirt, you know, like, it's dirt. We're completely surrounded by it. Go find some freaking dirt, okay? Find some dirt, bring it back, and if you're really not having any success with it, then just like add some shit to it later. Again, learning process, see? Now, if you're not producing much, you're gonna know, and you're gonna start to learn about things that you might need potentially for your soil to be good for you, to be productive and yielding more crops, to making your seeds, you know, able to germinate. Learning process, okay? So if you don't think that you have the money, you do. Seeds cost a couple dollars. Like, maybe not even that. You could probably, again, go to a seed swap and people will give them to you for free. Like, if you walk around and you're like, hey, I don't have much money, but I really want to start a garden. People are like, hell yeah, good for you. I'm glad you're here. Here, take this. Here's some broccoli. You know, whatever. Like, if you get creative, if you want something, you're going to get it. Okay? All you have to do is want it. If you want it, you'll make it happen. How bad do you want it? Well, figure out your why. And your why should be, I need to do this shit. So I'm going to make it happen. Okay? It isn't expensive. It doesn't have to be. If you're doing gardening just so you can have a little pretty area to show everyone, look at my pretty garden. Okay, well then that's not a very good why. If somebody comes to your house and they're like, oh my God, I cannot believe you have empty soda bottles for your seedlings. Really, Karen? Do you have any seeds at all? No, I don't have time for that. Oh, that's cute. Good job. I feel sorry for you when SHTF situation happens and the only thing you have to offer people is your designer skills. No one gives a fuck about that. Okay? My garden ain't pretty, but guess what? It's functional. Works. It's doing shit. What are you doing? That's what I thought. Yeah, exactly. See? Who's really winning here? Karen? With her pretty mowed backyard and her perfectly cut bushes, or you with your free functional garden that's producing you food and polishing your skill sets. You're winning. And if you don't think you're winning, then you need to do some more research and figure out what is important in life. Is it your granite countertops and your pretty beautiful yard and, you know, again, your trimmed fucking bushes and your nice clothes? Fuck no. No. Let's get over that, please. Can we all get over that? I am not impressed with you if you have a nice home. I'm impressed with you if you have a fully functional garden that you completely built yourself on a very small budget. I'm impressed with you if you can hunt with very little things and be successful at it, you know? I'm impressed with you if you're prepping and you give a fuck about your future. I'm impressed with you if you can have a conversation with me that has to do with our future, politics. Like, what the fuck do you know? That is impressive to me. I am not impressed with you if you want to talk about, like, you know, Billy down the road who was, you know, out past curfew and you didn't see his parents around. I'm not impressed with you if you've got a fancy car and it's the nicest one on the market. I'm not impressed by that. And none of us should be. That is another very important process to this great awakening that really fucking needs to happen. We need to stop being so goddamn impressed by materialistic bullshit. I am impressed by you if you're worthy of wanting and learning skills. You are impressive to me if you are knowledgeable, if you seek more knowledge. That's impressive. That's cool. That means you're thriving to be better. That means you're thriving to know what's going on in the world and make a fucking difference. Which I know a lot of you guys watching this video are like that. So good for you. I like all of you. If you guys think I'm being harsh, I'm really not. I'm just trying to be blunt. People spend far too much time sugarcoating shit. And they're like, there, it's okay. You don't have to do these things. No, you're fine. We understand you. It's okay. Here's another excuse. Here, watch this video of this guy making fun of people who grow 50-cent cucumbers. You know? No. I'm going to be blunt here. I'm going to be straightforward. Because my goal, my intention is to get people to get off their ass and do stuff. Okay? So, hopefully I have covered some of the basic myths with you guys and you're now thinking, shit, she's right. Okay. Go get some seedlings in the ground. Start a few in your window. Okay? If you can come back on these comments and tell me, hey, I had never gardened before, I got some seedlings in my windowsill and they're starting to grow, I will be super impressed with you. Because that's super awesome. Get started, do something over nothing, polish your skill sets, and come back here, okay? Because we are going to continue on this journey talking about awesome ways that we can garden, okay, on a budget. We're going to talk about animals here in a little bit and what different types of animals that you can get with a small space too. Lots of stuff coming, guys. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the links below for some stuff that you might need. Again, I need to get my garden going. And so, hopefully, a little of my intent with this YouTube is, of course, to make some money because I need to feed all of my prepper needs. There you go. Yeah. So that's how I do it. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.